Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You made Deacon mad. And he gets real nasty when he's mad.
It's Katrina Porter.
God. That is so disturbing. Hi, Anna Serene. Don't ever do that again.
I hope people watch this movie because that's not going to make no sense.
But also, if you watch this movie, it won't make any sense.
That don't make no sense.
No.
Welcome to Split Happens, everyone else.
Welcome, everybody.
Each week, Katrina and I discuss a movie both of us love. Seriously. We really do.
Even this one.
Even this one. However, only one of us gets to say anything good about the movie, and they are the pro of the episode, which means the other is the con and has to attack it. Our one rule is the con only has to attack during the synopsis, and if they say anything at all good about the movie during that time, they incur a penalty and will have to say something good about a movie that they hate, which the pro gets to decide. I would be super surprised if Katrina gets a button push in this one.
You
never know. But
well,
if I do catch a rule break from you, we're all going to hear this sound.
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
I can't imagine you'll get a rule break.
well, here's the thing.
Yes?
Tequila has been had.
Quite a lot, actually.
I don't know what happened. Oh, we drank it.
Oh, and I served it.
Oh, yeah. And I said, okay.
I'm a chronic overserver if you're staying the night.
I am staying the night.
Right.
Sleepover.
I don't overserve. I try not to overserve if somebody is having to leave. And if I do, I call Ubers.
Well, I wouldn't drive if I was...
No.
Yeah.
God, no.
I'm very responsible.
It's just that we found that new super yummy tequila.
It is so good. It tastes like honey.
Oh, I love it so much. It is very good. Oh, it's called Religion. I believe it.
Hallelujah.
You don't seem super worried about this one.
I know.
About attacking this one.
But that's the ones that you have to be worried about.
You don't seem worried about actually having things to attack this movie about.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Why? What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to rip this movie apart like a werewolf attacking an innocent bystander at a mid-80s rave.
Okay, werewolves at a rave.
Mid-80s.
Mid-80s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. I don't think there's another movie that it could possibly be.
Sunglasses.
Oh, well, that seals it. Obviously, you're talking about the Howling II, your sister is a werewolf.
She is. Not yours.
Howling. I wonder how hard it's going to be to find the theme song for this.
Oh, boy.
I do have trivia about that. I love the trivia for this one.
Really?
Yes.
I wondered if there was going to be a lot of trivia.
It's not that there's a lot. It's just what they gave. It was fruitful. We have so many things to talk about.
We have some things to talk about. This was an exciting weekend.
It really was.
What did we do Friday night?
I don't know. What was Friday?
Dog Star?
Oh, that was the concert. Okay.
Yeah.
My days are all off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Seriously, my days are just completely fucked.
Yeah. Despite instructions to the contrary.
Today's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We shook Keanu's hand.
I'm sorry. It's just that other people were already shaking hands. So I thought, okay, well, clearly they're cool with it, despite the guy saying, don't shake hands.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. It's cold and flu season. And then the groups before us were like handshaky like crazy. So I'm like, well, I guess all rules are off the table then. So I went in for handshake. And you immediately called me out.
Yeah, I did.
Right before you handshaked.
Well, he said no because then the lead singer was like, "No, that's okay." And then I was like, and then I shook his hand, and then I looked in Keanu's eyes, and I was like, "Now what do I do?" And he held his hand out, and I was like, just take the picture." I have no idea what my hands or my face or what anything did.
Did you hear me say we're clean?
Yes, I did. I was like, "Oh my god, that's what dirty people say."
We're clean. But we really are clean. We are very clean people.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not the ones getting them sick. Getting them sick.
Yeah. Pre-COVID, we washed our hands. This was not a new phenomenon to us.
Do.
Right.
What a fun show.
It was.
One of my coworkers was there with his wife,
Yeah.
Stevie. Yeah. Daniel was there with his wife,
The opening
Stevie.
band was Archer O, and they were awesome.
I loved them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna like them on this. I'm gonna like them on this. I've like started liking their songs on Spotify.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna give them a boost up
Mm-hmm.
because I appreciated their enthusiasm. I didn't appreciate the lead singer getting on to the drum. That made me nervous.
Oh my gosh. At the end, he stood on the drums, and I wanted to be like, "Get down from there." Like we were at the very front, and I wanted to just be like, "That is not safe, young man. Get down."
Katrina's not kidding. When we say we were at the very front,
It was nuts.
we were at the very front.
We were. It was crazy.
We accept nothing else.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
Dogstar, they were fucking troopers, man, because it was like 5,000 degrees in there. The AC wasn't working. It was hot as balls. And they played, and then they came out and did like a 3-song encore.
They were handing out bottled waters.
Yeah, it was
which
awesome.
Is definitely responsible for
Yeah.
sure. Luckily, your girl Anna always carries a hand fan.
Yeah, she did.
Everybody likes to laugh at my hand fan in my purse until it's like super necessary, and then I'm like, I'll provide you some airflow.
The photographer shooting the band was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Oh, I fanned off the security. The photographers every once in a while. Yeah, I'm a big believer in a hand fan.
Hey, speaking of music,
Yes,
this was pretty cool.
do tell.
On Instagram, there was a person that sent us a message,
Yeah.
and it was about the pirate movie.
Of course it was.
This freaking... We talk about this all the time. When people reach out to us, it makes our life. It makes us so happy when people message us. And this person sent us a message, and they said that they found our podcast because they were looking for the soundtrack of the pirate movie, and they listened to the podcast.
I get it. I mean, the soundtrack. Also, listening to the podcast, of course.
Right, it's fire. And so I looked her up, and her name is Jessie Wagner.
Yeah.
And I looked her up on Spotify. She's a singer. She has a freaking beautiful voice.
She's also gorgeous.
First of all, she's gorgeous.
She's super gorgeous.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, but I don't want to just start by, objectifying people. But she does a cover of True Colors by Cyndi Lauper.
I love that song.
It is, but she's got original music on there that is really good. Yeah, anyway, so
We attract good.
yeah, so shout out to Jessie Wagner.
You throw out good in the world, good comes back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go check her out on Spotify because she's awesome.
Can we tell people what else happened at the Dog Star show?
We met Keeve.
We met Kate.
Yes. Oh, man. Oh, that was freaking special.
So cool. I absolutely do remember. He was at one of the trivias I was at with Andy.
You know when you meet, when you meet someone and you're not sure if they're gonna live up to expectations, and it's a bummer.
Yeah, that happens all the time with me.
Yeah, this was not that.
Yeah.
Key was awesome.
Yeah, that was the highlight of my year.
Yeah, we were walking back to the house to do podcast stuff, and we're like, oh man, what a special person he is. Like, what an awesome guy.
We were stopped by another listener. We were stopped by Jen.
Yeah, she's a friend of ours.
Yeah. And her husband, Aaron.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool.
Yeah, so it was just a fun night, and anyway,
it was a great evening.
Yeah.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it.
Now I've got a new singer that I'm going to listen to, Jessie.
I would have liked to stayed and talked with Keith a little bit longer, but I was sweating my my non-existent balls off.
It was so fucking hot. We were gross.
even with my hand fan.
Yeah.
It was hot, and there were a ton of people.
Yeah, it was gross.
Both of those things are not good for the
It was not cute.
sisters. I am very excited for this movie. You know why?
Why?
Because not only is it absolutely hysterical,
Ridiculous.
it is a wonderful time to kick off our spooky movie October.
Spooky. This movie's not spooky.
We didn't really go with any super spooky movies this year, because if we're being real honest with ourselves and Jesus Christ,
Spooky movies scare me.
Yeah, spooky movies are not Katrina's bread and butter.
Mm-mm.
I really like spooky movies.
I don't like jump scares.
I don't like jump scares, but I love, love, love horror movies. I just want to know everything that's going to happen before it happens. But other than that, I really do love horror movies. Quite a lot.
I like some of them.
Mm-hmm. But these, all of the ones that we have in our, that we've set up, that we've lined up for our spooky October, I'm really happy. And we've got a lot to live up to, because last year we had both Elvira and
Nightmare on Elm Street. Dream Warriors. Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. Yeah.
That was so much fun.
we've got a lot to live up to. But we brought tequila.
I hope this dang tequila doesn't get in our way, like it did on John Wick.
Oh God, I struggled with more than just taking my notes. I struggled with stringing a couple of words together. You struggle with stringing a couple of words together, like dog dad.
You know what? Keanu Timber was rough for me in general.
I couldn't edit it out. I'm sorry. It just wasn't going to happen. Well, shockingly, I don't have a ton of pre-synopsis trivia about this movie.
That's okay.
At all.
That's okay.
None.
Just play the fucking song.
Oh, you ready?
You don't have their budget or their box office
or
nothing?
I can tell you that the budget for this was $2 million.
$2?
$2 million, which is double the budget from the first Howling movie. And the first Howling movie was a difficult one for them, because it only had a $1 million budget. It grossed $18 million.
What?
Which, yeah, it's huge. It by far didn't gross the most out of the werewolf-themed movies of that year. That went to An American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
So it went up against that, but that's an 18-1 profit. I mean, there's a reason why this got a remake.
Well, and that was John Landis.
Yeah.
I mean,
the remake was horrible. That was An American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah.
Ooh, it wasn't good.
And that had the guy from That Thing You Do in it.
Yeah.
Love that guy, but that movie sucked.
I loved him too, but that was not good.
No.
Howling, however, knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear. It knew, and it went for it.
The only real letdown for me for this movie was that it wasn't the one that has the line dancing scene.
I think that's
Howling 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a future Halloween episode, because line dancing in a werewolf movie, you don't see that coming.
It's a gem. That's a gift that keeps on giving.
It's a dime a dozen. That one. Well, this one doesn't have that, but it has a whole lot. This has a lot of gifts to me mostly, and I guess actually probably to you as well.
Yeah, a few.
Do you want to say anything at all good about this movie before we start?
No.
Besides, we really do love this. It's so fun. You just can't watch it with any seriousness.
Yeah. Yes. Do we have to say this again? Don't watch this movie with a stick up your ass. This is
Roger Ebert. I'm sorry you didn't like this movie. Shockingly,
this movie does it make sense? No,
it doesn't gotta.
No.
You have a whole Howling movie that made sense. We have to do another one that makes sense? No.
Right.
This one's just for funsies. This one's just for the lulz.
It's for the lulz.
Yeah.
And there are plenty.
Plenty of boobs, plenty of lulz.
Jesus Christ.
I do have some trivia about the boobies.
The boobs are excessive.
They are excessive.
Even for
nice
me.
Boobies.
They're great boobs. Her boobs are great, but they're excessive.
You have to be more specific. There are multiple people with their boobies out.
I will be specific.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
Just play the fucking song then.
You got it.
Let the games begin.
Our movie begins.
No,
How do you know?
because I know. First of all, the font makes it look like this is Lord of the Rings, and then we see Saruman, which furthers this belief, but then nope.
It's funny you should say that because our next movie has a Lord of the Rings connection. I'm going to leave it at that until the end of the episode.
Well, great. That's a con too.
What? That I'm going to leave it to the end?
No.
This movie begins, in my opinion, with space. I love space. And Christopher Lee. I love Christopher Lee. He is our narrator, and he's also Stefan, or as I like to call him, Stefan Krosko, a cult investigator, and he wants us to know that, for it is written, the
Inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with her blood. And I saw her sit upon a hairy beast, and she held forth a golden chalice full of the filthiness of her fornications.
And upon her forehead was written, Behold, I am the great mother of harlots and all abominations of the earth. That's a lot to put on a forehead, but hello. Wow, this is some spooky shit.
No, what's with that spooky skeleton hanging out behind not Saruman?
Again, that's how we know it's spooky.
No, it's weird, and I'm sorry there's a character named Sturba.
Well, we have to get to that. We'll get to that. We know this is spooky because there's a skeleton, and we know that Christopher Lee is in this because we see him, and he is in this not because he lost a bet, like many people might be thinking, or that he had some tax problems, like probably some other people might be thinking. He just wanted to be in a werewolf movie.
Did he owe someone a favor?
No, he wanted to be in a werewolf movie.
This one?
Yep.
He didn't. Not this one.
Howling did great.
I feel like he was lied to.
He was not lied to. He knew what the Howling was. He's like, sure, why not? He did a lot of shit movies. It's unfortunate because Christopher Lee is a very good actor. Does he regret this movie? I don't think he's alive anymore. So we can't ask him.
Is he Sir Christopher Lee? Or
He should be.
the man formerly known as Sir Christopher Lee?
He absolutely should be. I can go ahead and tell you, though, he did regret this movie.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
When he did, like, future movies, he actually apologized a little bit. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was not that person. Look, I wanted to do a werewolf movie.
I was drunk at the time.
And I was drunk at the time.
Tequila, am I right?
Even Christopher Lee likes a tequila shot. He probably would have loved that religion. Cut to sunny Los Angeles. And if there's any confusion where that is, don't worry. The text also lets us know it's in California, USA.
Well,
City of the Angels.
no, excuse me. Back to the credits. This movie was based on a book?
Yes, it sure was.
Okay, as a representative of books, they would like you to know they had nothing to do with this movie.
No, it absolutely did. And it was based on a book.
No.
Yes, it was.
They said no.
This movie was based on The Giving Tree.
Shel.
There's trees in this movie.
No.
Oh, I have so much trivia on Shel Silverstone. She released music?
Shel Silverstein would like you to apologize for what you just said, that this
He
movie...
would not. He would be so into it. Let me tell you about his music. Do you know he wrote A Man Named Sue?
Okay, but he has nothing to do with this
I know, but
movie.
people want to know he wrote A Man Named Sue. It makes perfect sense when you hear it.
Okay. This
Sorry.
movie was not based on a book. It did not come from anything that was published.
Okay, well, this movie kind of, sort of, begins where the Howling II, that's one, left off. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't, did you watch the original Howling?
Of course.
Did you really?
Of course I did. The original Howling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people haven't.
Oh, why? The original Howling is good.
Yeah, it really, really is. Yeah. And only on a $1 million budget. How about that?
Right. It's
So by proxy, this is good.
No.
The original, just to recap, in case people haven't seen it, the original movie, the main character was Karen White. She was played by Dee Wallace, who everybody knows from E.T. Mm-hmm. She's wonderful. And she is a popular Los Angeles TV anchor. And she gets a call from like a serial killer, or he says he is. And then he says that he's going to meet her in like a one of those porn viewing booths, like they did in that one Madonna video.
Ooh.
You know,
Or Amelie.
yeah, the penny booths. And she's looking for a big scoop, you know. And she meets him there, but he tells her to turn around and look at him, and she's like, because whatever. And then cops show up, and they're like, oh, we hear screaming, and bam, 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 they shoot him. And then she has PTSD, and she goes to a psychologist. She ends up in this place. And then, skip to the end, she becomes a werewolf. And, to kind of stop that, she goes on the air and was like, well, I'm going to expose this. I'm fucked. So I'll go ahead and transform. Because she is a woman, and she understands what she has to do for art. God, women. Believe women. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Believe women. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to transform into a werewolf on the air in order to convince people that werewolves exist. So that's what she did. But that was Dee Wallace, and it was a very, very cool transformation.
Well, that is from Howling 1.
Yes.
So I can say that.
Yes, you can.
Well, this priest is a liar. He said the death of anyone is a sad occasion, and I don't think so.
Really?
No, apparently this guy hasn't seen John Wick. Those guys had it coming.
They had it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, so this movie begins with Karen's funeral.
Okay.
From the first movie.
Yeah.
Dee Wallace's. And who doesn't love a funeral? What are you looking at? Are
Nothing.
you checking scores? You're checking scores. Are we back to this already?
It's football season.
Who cares? Besides you and most of the population of the United States of America. USA, no way. Werewolves.
It's Sunday Night Football.
Dee Wallace must have been very busy because Karen's corpse is played by a different actress.
Who can't not breathe in the casket because she's just breathing away.
Well, she's not technically dead. She's a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
At the burial in what is absolutely still definitely California and definitely not Czechoslovakia, where they did most of the filming. You can tell. A guy tells probably Karen's co-worker, TV reporter Jenny, about 6 dead bodies killed by animals, because where else are you supposed to tell someone that information?
Yeah, I don't know who any of these people are, but some jackstack thinks a funeral is the right time to tell one of the family members about a bunch of people who got murdered in what looks like a canine killing.
Of course it is. We talk about killings every time we go to a funeral. We're at funerals all the time.
How dare they blame that on a dog?
A dog? They also said it might have been a beast of some kind. A non-dog beast. They said a coyote. They did say a coyote. It might be a coyote.
They said a canine killing, and oh my god.
They also said coyote.
Ceramon is named Stefan in this movie.
Yeah. Okay, well, Jenny, like I said, she is played by Annie McEnroe. And I think she does a
job?
She does a job on this movie.
Uh-huh.
And
is it a bad job?
No, I didn't say that. Of course I didn't say that. You, and probably most people, would better know her as the real estate agent in Beetlejuice.
Oh, shit.
You can see it now.
Yeah. Oh, that was driving me nuts.
Interior designing tips. I did their house for them.
She was actually good in that movie.
She's been in a lot of movies.
Huh.
She was in Oliver Stone. She was in The Hand, which was with, it was directed by Oliver Stone, and it had Michael Caine. You know, Mike Cocaine. That guy. Stefan. I know his name is Stefan, but it's Stefan. He tells Karen's brother, that's Karen's the TV anchor from the first movie, it would have been Dee Wallace, tells his brother Ben, your sister isn't dead, call me. Because where else are you supposed to tell someone that information besides the burial? Right? Ben is played by Reb Brown, who you might also recognize from Nothing.
Right.
Because he's been in a lot. He has been in quite a few movies.
Really?
Yes.
Porn?
No.
Oh, no, not porn.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nothing that Wikipedia showed. I can tell you that Wikipedia, which is not always the best place to find information, I can tell you Wikipedia, his specific page, sure seemed like he probably manages that.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, Reb might not have a ton going on.
Oh.
He reminded me of Ryan McNeil. Is that his name?
Ryan O'Neal?
Ryan O'Neal.
Oh.
Yeah, Ryan O'Neal. He reminded me of Ryan O'Neal, kinda.
Oh my.
Sorta.
I think he has like cancer or something.
Ryan O'Neal or Reb?
Ryan O'Neal. I don't know anything about Reb.
He probably has cancer too. But like a lesser cancer. Like fingernail cancer or something. I don't know.
Is that a thing?
Maybe. He can get cancer of anything.
As soon as I heard that Saruman's name was Stefan
Yeah.
in this movie,
He has everything.
you know, I was like, this funeral has everything. Occult investigators, hissing mourners, a breathing corpse.
Everything.
Everything.
You're welcome. I agree. This does have everything.
That's not a pro. Nice try, French fry.
He was a pro to me. Okay, Stefan gives Ben his card. And which tells him that he is Stefan
Crosco. Get the fuck out of
occult
here.
investigator. Is that my cat scratching at the door?
I think so.
Hazel, just push it. Just push the door.
Dude, she's not going to do that herself.
Ugh. Fuck me. God damn it. You lazy ass. Yes. But there was no one there.
Is it a werewolf?
There's no kitty cat here.
Ooh, spooky. Ooh.
There really is no cat there.
There was no one at the door.
You know what happened?
What?
I opened the door and I saw somebody. I'm like, I hear Hazel scratching. And you know what they told me?
What?
Hazel? The cat? Well, that cat's been dead for 9 years. Ooh. Our Lady Jenny asks Stefan what he knows about the death of Karen White. And he says, well, I know she's a werewolf, okay. And there's a lot of vampire lore peppered in with the vampire lore here. Cut to a punk club, where obviously that's where Stefan should be. Right?
It makes no sense. He's just standing there watching the ne'er-do-wells who talk very disrespectfully to the hissing mourner from the funeral.
Mariana.
Just an aside.
Yes.
The band that is singing at the nightclub.
Yes.
One of the lines of the song is, "Parents walk in on the passion."
Yeah.
That's gross.
How punk.
That's not good.
Well, it is the Howling II. Calling your sister's world.
That's really gross.
Stefan is there at the club.
Wearing those sunglasses.
With those great punk sunglasses, obviously.
Yeah.
Because he's hunting a female werewolf named Mariana, who he saw at the funeral, and we already know she's a baddie because she hissed at him.
Mm-hmm.
At the club is the band Babel. Can I tell you about the band?
Babel.
That's not a real band.
Really?
No, it really
What?
isn't. So this guy named Stephen Parsons was hired to compose the score electrically, and then also in quotes, for cheapsies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. He's like, great, this is my chance. And they were like, just do whatever you want. I don't care. And there were no rules. So the producer and the director gave him 2 days to come up with the title song for the film. And that's why he spent the next 48 hours hiding out in the studio with the band that he created for the film, cranking out different variations of Howling, the movie's anthem. You might ask, well, why is it played so often in this movie?
Yes, I do ask that.
It is. So originally, the first 30 minutes were just like montages set to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Parsons, that's the musician, he composed other stuff like on this synth, but I don't know, they didn't like it or whatever. So they're like, let's just use incidental music. But then he went to the director, who obviously knew what was best, and said, well, let's just use the theme song instead, over and over. And everyone, literally everyone, except for him, the director, and the producer, hated the idea.
Yeah, and me. I hate it.
But they had the final say.
Oh.
So they went with it, and that's why you have that song.
Wow, over and over again. Parents walk in on the passion.
Also, by the way, just as an aside, that concert, so this was filmed in Czechoslovakia. So this was like USSR territory.
Oh, shit.
Right. In the 80s.
Not safe.
Early 80s.
Everyone's in danger.
Right. This club scene was illegal.
Oh, great.
It really was. The
Con.
clubgoers, they look super excited for a reason. They are doing illegal shit. Normally, during that time, you had to have, like, any kind of, like, concert goers that were in that had to have that during the afternoon. And they had to file out peacefully and calmly. And, you know, with some mild applause. And that was it. Them's were the rules. No crowd surfing, no exuberation whatsoever. So then they got wind of this going on. So then the director was like, here's what we're doing. We're doing this thing about werewolves. And they're like, we don't know what werewolves is.
Oh, boy.
And so they were like, well, here's what a werewolf is. And then they tried to explain, and they're like, what you say sounds ridiculous. And so then they're like, just fucking leave, yeah? And then, so then they let them out. But what they did, I mean, so that they were able to actually do that scene is pretty amazing.
That accent's a con.
What? No, it isn't.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my better ones, I thought.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Do your Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
It's my favorite.
Do you want me to do it if he was Russian?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I got nothing.
That's good.
So that hissing werewolf, not a vampire like I was going to say.
That's so fucking weird, dude.
Her name's Mariana.
Okay.
She leads a bunch of the club goers to a secondary location.
Never go to a secondary
I mean,
location.
it's a horror movie.
Never.
And she immediately starts howling and getting naked. So they're like, sweet.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I love when the skeevy guy gets like the bottle thrown through it. That was fucking funny.
Hold up. I've seen a billion werewolf movies, and I've never seen werewolves transform by screaming, and there's not a full moon to be seen.
They actually they went away from werewolf lore.
Yeah, no shit.
A lot of movies do that sort of thing, but they went away from that. American Werewolf in London did that. He did silver bullets, like regular bullets killed him. It didn't need to be silver bullets.
The acting
Yes.
in this is terrible.
You're terrible.
The acting is terrible.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Really?
I feel like we were watching two different movies.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We get some extremely realistic looking werewolves.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
In this movie?
Yes.
Oh, we watched this together.
I know. I feel like you watched something different. I will say, even though those are clearly werewolves,
Okay.
in spite of that, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
Those weren't actually werewolf costumes.
What?
No. What they were sent were costumes from Planet of the Apes,
Wow. Okay.
but with extra hair.
Oh, interesting.
The production company's like, well, just make it work. You're
Okay.
creative. Make it work. So they made it work. But yeah, those were ape costumes, and you didn't even know. You didn't know. Nobody knew.
Remember that Phil Hartman skit from SNL where he's like the lawyer?
Caveman, unfrozen caveman lawyer, of course.
Yeah. I thought that his cast-off costume was what they used for this, but like most of the hair was gone. That's what I thought they used for the costumes.
No, they were very clever with hair. I'll get back to that later.
Oh.
Meanwhile, our two protagonists, that would be Ben and Jenny, not Ben and Jerry, like I almost said, they go to visit Stefan in his home, and it has everything. Taxidermied animals, titanium bullets, VCR, everything.
Stefan could have given the brother a fucking heads up that he was getting ready to show him a video of not only his sister being murdered, but murdered after she turned into a werewolf while trying to deliver the news.
Yeah, they actually did reshoot that, not using the Dee Wallace footage from the original movie. And I thought it was pretty clever that they started it at after transformation, so they didn't even have to like work into the budget, like trying to transform her into a werewolf.
Well,
Clever.
I'm confused.
You are?
Yes. If the sister was shot with silver bullets,
Yes,
how is she still alive in the casket?
because they were removed
What do you mean they were removed?
during the autopsy.
But she was dead already.
Yeah, once they removed them, all rules are off.
That doesn't make any sense. And then I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Being a person
I'm a person.
of style and substance
I am a person.
who notices decor and such, I couldn't help but notice that Stefan has a stuffed werewolf in his home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did he have to send that to a taxidermist in Transylvania?
Mm-hmm. Not in Transylvania.
I don't think anyone in the City of Angels specializes in werewolf stuffing.
You would be correct. They don't. They don't. They don't do that in California.
So he sent that off for...
For a to be taxidermied?
So there's someone who specializes in werewolf stuffing somewhere?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Montana.
Oh, Montana. Okay.
Yeah. Wyoming.
Oh,
I think it's Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in Wyoming. If you've been to Wyoming, you know you're going to do whatever you can do.
I have been to Wyoming.
Yep. And were you like, hello? And like looked around and it was just your echoed voice?
No.
Really?
No.
That was my experience. Well, I mean, yeah, that everybody... Who doesn't know that there's a huge werewolf taxidermy culture?
I think everyone doesn't know that because it's It's
Well,
grade A
most people
baloney.
Most people aren't from that area, but I went to school in Colorado, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump south from Wyoming, and I happen to know that's what they do.
Those are
there.
very far apart.
They're really not. I know for a fact because one time I was driving with my friends, and we were driving all over the place, and we might have been a little bit high. I'm just saying. And then we went to a buffet, and we got super, super full. I think actually we saw Fantasia 2000 on IMAX. Anyway, so we got in the car, and then we wanted to go see the Shining House, which is in
Estes Park.
But no, I mean, yeah. So that we wanted to go there, but then the roads were closed because it was technically winter, I think, or spring. So we got lost. And then, so I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just keep driving. And then at one point we saw a sign that said, welcome to Wyoming. And I was like, oh no. And then we crossed the border and there was nothing there except, where I was able to go, hello, hello, hello. And I was like, oh, werewolf taxidermy, best go back to school. And that's what we did.
That story was brought to you by Katrina's first ulcer.
99% of that story is true.
It was a constant state of anxiety when Anna was in culinary arts school.
I'm going to leave it to you to guess which one is the wrong part.
The werewolf taxidermy?
Anyway.
Okay, well, she invites him in for a drink after he watches a video of his sister being murdered, and she serves him a Bloody Mary?
Hilarious. Okay, but I'm not there just yet. Hold on. Ben is not quite convinced that, despite being told numerous times now, Colin, your sister, is a werewolf, and the name of the movie, you'd think that clue him up, but he's not ready to believe. Some people need more than that. And he is convinced that Stefan is going to stake his sister. I saw you checking scores again.
No, I'm not.
He's going to stake him with a silver knitting needle.
Right.
Which, okay. And then Stefan digs up the werewolf sister and intends to stake her in the church, which again is a little more vampire lore, but whatever, in her casket. And there are lots of werewolves afoot, including his now sister. But they get her, and they somehow manage to capture one of the werewolves, an older fella, and he just wants to be put out of his misery. And they oblige him after he tells them that Sturba is hanging out in, quote, the dark country, which is Transylvania. Again, more vampire lore. I love a crossover. Especially a bag. Stefan begs Ben and Jenny, again, not Ben and Jerry, to accompany him to Transylvania. That's where werewolves are. But Mariana, that's that one werewolf that we talked about that, was so active in that punk club.
Mm-hmm.
She is already there. And she meets a guy on the train station. His name is Vlad. And he is played by Judd Omen. And they have BFF matching necklaces. They know they're in the same group. Do you recognize Judd?
Kind of.
He was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh,
you remember
shoot.
him now, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, back to music commentary. The lyric in the current song that really caught my ear is, I've got a hunger that is emotional.
Hunger is emotional. What's not emotional about hunger to you?
That is weird, dude.
What? I take serious umbrage to what you're saying. I'm not kidding.
You would. Do you think Anne Hathaway watched this movie and saw the lack of chemistry between the brother and the reporter, and she thought, if I ever host the Oscars with James Franco, I'm going to model our chemistry off of theirs?
I thought you were talking about Anne Heche. Like, so soon.
Anne Hathaway, you dirty hoe.
I don't know, people.
No.
Anne Heche.
Anne Hathaway, James Franco, Oscars, worst of all time.
Gone, but kind of forgotten.
Mm.
I'm sorry. You're saying these two have bad chemistry?
Oh my God.
Well, what happens when there's good chemistry? I'll tell you. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie had good chemistry on Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and look what happened there. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that point.
Wait, if werewolves have the option of only transforming parts of their body, you know this is bullshit, because if true, men would be signing up for Werewolves Club in a heartbeat.
They talk about it. They at one point, oh god, gross. I didn't like what you just did right there. I didn't like it. Well, they do cover that. They actually do cover that in the dialogue. They in the script they said that they're in. I swear to God, I'm actually not making this up. They said they're in different forms of transformation. That is true. Yeah, please don't make me find a clip because I ain't gonna find it. Over at Castle de Sturba, there is a very tasteful ceremony going on.
Okay, well that tells me we've reached the titty virgin sacrifice, make the old ass werewolf young again while we chant around a fake ass fire portion of the movie.
That's my favorite annual celebration.
Of course it is.
Whose isn't?
Mine.
What, you like something stupid like Flag Day?
No, I like
Arbor Day?
Of course, I love flowers.
Trees. These guys bring in what I assume is a virgin and an elderly woman, and she sucks up her essence. This is like the Dark Crystal. And she is smoking hot now. That's the elderly woman, not the virgin. She's you know, she's a burnt hot dog now.
Yeah.
And
this is why I don't eat hot dogs, people.
I don't either. I'm not allowed.
Don't try to convince me. It ain't happening.
I've been banned from eating hot dogs.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
I have history.
Yes, you do.
Vomit history.
Yes, you do.
The elderly woman that sucked up the essence is now is now smoking hot, and she is clearly in charge. And then we get a very tasteful lovemaking scene.
Whoa. Up until this movie,
Yes.
I thought the weirdest sex scene in a movie that I could ever see was in Flesh for Frankenstein. And then there's this movie, and they're like, hold my...
You goddamn bitch. Oh, come on. I don't have any way to clean off my glasses. I gotta read. You know that's hard for me. What? It's not weird. It's tasteful and beautiful and probably accompanied by a weird soundtrack. Howling. Oh, emotions.
That was so bizarre. And for some reason, they go back to it a lot in this movie.
They do?
They do.
I don't think so.
They do.
Sturba. That's her name.
Yeah.
She is played by Sybil Danning.
Okay.
And she is a woman who is very, very good. Very nice looking knockers. To put it
I can say she has beautiful
knockers.
She's a beautiful woman. And her breasts look amazing.
Knockers.
Yes, they look amazing.
Melons.
Yep.
Fun
And
bags.
we have plenty of opportunities to witness them.
Well, she has shown them in quite a few of her movies.
This one.
Well, by the time she got to this one, she was like, look, I am an actress and I study the craft and I don't want to just show my boobs and all that. And they insisted on it. And I mean, they insisted on it. They really did. So they went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with her. And she said, fine. I will show my, I will show my
Fun bags?
My boogies one time. And one time alone. And she does. She only shows them one time. That's true. She only actually shows them one time. It's just, she didn't technically agree to how many times they could show that one time.
Wow. That's fucked up. That's a con.
No, I mean, she signed that contract. Hey, so Stefan walks off to the town, and Ben and Jerry. Oh, I almost said it again, Ben and Jerry.
Yeah, you did.
Ben and Jenny. It's not my fault. It's right there. Ice cream. Ben and Jenny drive off, and it says it's a werewolf in their backseat. Ben and Jenny make it to the town somehow, and to a hotel, and this hotel has everything, including room number 666.
Yeah, she's like, if I'm going to be terrorized by werewolves, some like one room to get some good from this denim-clad idiot.
Denim.
And they didn't actually give the weird bellhop a full hunchback.
Denim.
It's more like a
The owner of Godfather's Pizza is the owner of this hotel, a hunchback kind of, and a little person who might be up to no good. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Ben and Jenny do have their own sex scene. It is, I gotta be honest, it was absolutely smoking warm.
Yeah, warm is... It was more like...
I like warm. I like to be warm. Warm is like right in the middle. It's great.
It was more like cream of wheat.
I love cream of wheat.
Not even like oatmeal, like where you feel like you got nutrients, but more like cream of wheat, where you got really nothing from it.
That's not true. Oatmeal feels like it fills you up, but you're hungry again. Very soon, cream of wheat will keep you sustained for a long period of time. This town is lively. I like it. And oh good, more of that werewolf threesome that we were starting to see earlier. What a gift. Can I tell you a little bit about that werewolf threesome? Because some may say, not me.
Yeah.
Some, probably you and other haters,
Yeah.
may say, this is a little odd.
A lot.
They're not actually physically making out.
They're more just like scratch at each other's faces.
They're doing that, and then kind of like, that.
It's very, very strange.
They're aiming at each other. Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to believe this.
Probably not.
There wasn't a lot of budget for this movie.
Oh, what?
No.
I don't believe it because you didn't tell us anything at the beginning.
I know, but, I was drunk and I didn't research it enough. So, there wasn't a lot. So, instead, they just glued a bunch of hair on them. A whole lot of hair. They made them stand naked for quite some time, gluing hair all over them. And they're like, you guys look great. Just don't move or touch anything. And
That's
your hair
glued
won't fall
onto their
off.
body?
Yeah.
That's a con.
So, you know how that is? Like when you prepare something, you prepare a craft. Not like a craft, like acting, but like a craft, like an art craft.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it looks so good. Nobody touch it because it is unstable.
Yeah.
I got it where it needs to be, but as long as just nobody touches it.
Yeah.
That's what this is. That's what they told them. So basically, just, make out and make it look good, but don't touch. So that's why there's a lot of
God.
at each other. They did their best. What do you want them to do? Ruin the crafts?
They were probably covered in rashes. Con.
Well, they knew what they signed up for.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did either.
Okay, thank you.
I can say it. You're welcome. During another of the town's lively celebrations, Ben wanders off to get Jenny a gift. And then the hunchbacked gentleman leads Jenny astray. And then it's nighttime, I guess. And Ben and the little feller that from earlier sneak up on Sturba's castle and get some really killer information. And Sturba and Stefan are like, siblings? What? We find out that Sturba and Stefan, Christopher Lee, so Tits McGee, And Christopher Lee, Tits McGee and Christopher Lee. If that doesn't sound like a good cop duo, I don't know what to tell you.
Wait.
McGee and McGee and Lee.
Why the fuck is Sturba wearing sunglasses?
Well, she has on a very good lounging outfit and her best sunglasses. And yes, it is night, but I will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
It looks cool.
Oh.
Also, she had conjunctivitis.
What?
You know what? We've all dealt with pink eye on occasion, especially people that have kids. We've all been there, right?
The actress had conjunctivitis? You're being serious? Oh my God.
Who hasn't been there? And what an inopportune time. She has said since then, it wasn't technically conjunctivitis. She was getting a massage, and some oil got in her eyes, and it got infected. Girl, it was conjunctivitis.
Okay.
She got conjunctivitis.
Listen.
She got pink eye.
Isn't she like 1 billion years old or something? Because if she...
10,000, I think, yeah.
Okay, then how is she and Stefan brother and sister?
He's also that old.
That doesn't make any sense.
Sure it is.
He's not a werewolf.
No.
Then what is he? He's just a human.
He's a warlock.
That doesn't make any sense.
He's a witch.
No, he's not.
Witches are old.
No.
He just doesn't have pink eye. That's why he's not wearing sunglasses.
Up until now, my issues were mostly acting, dialogue, and special effects. But this is a real plot problem. And I'm beginning to think Stefan sucks at his job.
So Hunchback guy takes Jenny off the beaten path, and he tries to get a little frisky with her. He knocks her out, and that's when Sturba shows up and snatches her and wants to use her as bait. And then the little person unfortunately meets a bad end.
How in the fuck did the band from the nightclub get to Transylvania for the werewolf?
They flew them in.
What?
Of course they did. They had a theme song.
That does not make any sense.
What?
Anna, because we have closed captioning on while we're taking our notes and we're taking them together,
Yeah.
I know that somewhere there's thunder rumbling. How do you feel about that?
I love the sound of thunder.
Would you want to be in it?
I love the sound of thunder. I love a new wave band. And I love the idea of a leather orgy.
What? No, you don't.
I don't want to be in it.
Ew.
Other people, this seems like they would have a lot of fun.
No.
And I mean they had a lot of fun. Can I just tell you that a lot of these extras were Czech. They were Czechoslovakian.
Okay.
And they didn't understand English. So they told them what they should be simulating, but that didn't quite translate for simulating.
So they didn't consent to this. That's a con.
Oh no, they consented all right. So, they were like, give it your all or whatever,
Oh my.
and then they're like, cut. But people didn't cut. People were into it.
Oh my.
It was a highly charged set.
Oh my goodness.
All of that, werewolf stuff and sunglasses
Ew.
and new wave music.
No.
And they were like, I'm in leather.
Mm-mm.
Chains.
No.
I'm into this.
Yuck.
I believe they filmed this in a church.
Oh, of course.
No. It's kind of funny because they wanted to film this in this place because they thought this would be really, really neat. They're like, let's film this in this church. And they wanted to make sure that the people running the church understood what was going on and like, yeah, we got it. And they're like, do you really, really understand? And they're like, yeah, we do actually. And they explained to them that they've been trying to get the Catholic Church, because it's a Catholic church, they've been trying to get them to come and I don't know what the right term is. I'm really, really sorry. Upgrade it? Like sanctify it? Like upgrade it or whatever?
Uh-huh.
And they're like, this is perfect.
Oh,
They have to do it now.
Oh,
So
my.
they were totally okay with any of the stuff going on. So they're like, fine, yeah, whatever. Do whatever you got to do.
Well, Stefan just points at the castle and says to the priest, Father, like, get on in there. And the priest kind of hunches his shoulders like, oh, man, I don't want to. And then Serba has a demon dragon death fuck his face.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it does.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Not everybody can reach can have a peaceful ending.
Oh my. And then Serba says to Stefan, finally we meet again, but didn't she say earlier he was her brother?
Well, they haven't met for some time. Meet again. They met when they were young. Okay, well, Stefan and Ben are on the hunt. They don't realize they're walking into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to dispatch with most of the werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Stefan throws like a holy hand grenade, I think.
Okay.
And he suggests they split up, which is bad for the priest. But Ben does single-handedly take out Vlad. That's the
Right. Yeah.
earlier. And he frees Jenny. Good for him.
Yeah.
And then time for Stefan and Serba to face off. And she does do some magic fuckery.
Yeah.
But it is no use. Because Stefan, he stabs the shit out of her. And then the two of them burst into flames. The whole castle burns down. And isn't that exciting?
Well, no, but she says you could never resist me.
Yeah.
Yuck.
I know. Some people have no boundaries.
And in the middle of this battle, she decided to change her clothes?
Yeah. I couldn't wait to change my clothes when we got home, and it didn't matter whatsoever. I was going to be changing into pajamas in like an hour and a half anyway.
And why did Denim Dan point a gun in the poor musician's face?
We didn't know they might be werewolves. They probably were. They were singing about howling a lot. Ow!
Mm-mm.
Well, after the castle burns down,
Yeah.
we see a glimpse into the future a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And Ben and Jenny, not Ben and Jerry, escape. And we see them answer their door to a trick-or-treater. And it's a goddamn werewolf child.
Mm-hmm.
And we think, they're like, oh no, he just lives down the hall. But that's a priest. And he's like, I ain't got no kids here. No fooling. Go away, no questions. And then they're like, oh no. And then we see a werewolf howling. And then more of the howling music. And then credits. And that means the movie's over, right?
No. The weirdest part of this movie then commences.
What do you mean?
We get a booby reveal flashback on repeat for what feels like eternity.
Okay, here's the deal.
Yeah.
What had happened was...
Yeah.
Remember when I said that she agreed to only one nude scene?
Yeah.
Well, again, she didn't agree to how many times they could show that scene.
Yeah.
So originally, they just showed that and nothing else. And then when she saw it, she was real mad. Sybil, who played her, she was mad. She was upset and said, this is ridiculous. And they negotiated down to only 5 times they would show that scene where she like bursts open and shows her boobs.
At the end?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
However, then at some point, another distributor called and said, can we up that amount? And she's like, I don't give a fuck. Because I think at that point she was just like, you know what? Whatever. You guys have my boobs on camera. If you're crazy enough to show it more than once, whatever. So then he showed it again. We actually see it 17 times.
That is so weird.
It is very weird. They would say she should have said how many times they could show that one scene that she agreed to.
The fact that it's in the ending credits at all is weird. Like, that's weird. Like, that's not done. It's awful. It really, really is awful. And I really, as a female, I want to say it's awful. Also, as like a person that is like kind of juvenile in their thinking, I'm like, tee, that's kind of funny. It's not. It's
awful.
awful.
It's awful. But
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I agree. The movie's over.
It's done. Yes. It's over now.
Ow!
Oh my god. That weird threesome is so bizarre.
Your face.
I was like, I don't even know how to comment on this.
Where do I start?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to describe this.
It's like a buffet, but with all my favorite things.
Right. This is the weirdest shit.
It is quite odd. It's a little jarring
Yeah.
when you see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stand by it. I can't believe you didn't get butt push.
Yeah. You're shocked.
I don't know how you managed to get around that. Whatever. I stand by it. If you're okay with seeing nudity, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to understand. Like, this is not a movie that you're going to watch with your kids.
No, this says boobies.
This has boobies to an excessive amount. And there's a sex scene, kind of.
Sort of.
A few sex scenes.
Sort of.
Kind of. Actually, maybe, you know what? Show this to your teachers. Go, this is what sex is. Isn't that exciting?
And they'll be like,
oh, fuck,
God,
no.
never will I have sex, ever.
God, no. So maybe this is, you know what? That's why this movie is great.
You already said it was over, so I'm not.
Well, apparently, it was good enough. I don't know what the box office was. But there were multiple howlings. As we know.
At least 2 more.
Yeah. There were quite a few more. So, yeah, that's the beginning to our October. What a way to start.
What a way to start. Do you want to know what my happy ending is? Okay. Well, to start off our month of spooky movies, my happy ending is Nia DaCosta. She is the first woman of color to have a horror film debut at number 1 at the box office.
Really?
Which was Jordan Peele's Candyman reboot.
No.
Yeah.
That long?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yep. That was only the second movie that she directed. Yeah. Her first film, her debut film, was a crime drama called Little Woods that starred the amazing, and we love her so much because she's gorgeous, Tessa Thompson. It won the Nora Ephron Award at the Tribeca Film Festival, which she also wrote. And her third film, which is coming out soon, and this is nuts that this is her third film, which she's directing, is The Marvels, which is kind of a huge flex to be like, the second film I did was I directed for Jordan Peele, and the third film I'm doing is a Marvel film. So
that is wonderful.
Yeah, and I liked the Candyman reboot, and I'm a hard sell on remakes of movies I like, and I really liked it. I wouldn't say that I liked it more than the first one because I loved the first one, and that movie has jump scares for sure, and that's a scary ass movie. But I liked the sequel, and she's great. So that's my happy ending. I think she's incredible.
I'll just go ahead and I really, really love. That's a very, very good happy ending. I will say we almost did the Candyman.
Yes.
And we probably will do that in the future.
Yeah.
But we wussed out a little bit. Do you want to say what we're doing for the next one? Or can I say?
You should say it. It's yours.
It's mine. So it's funny that we talked about Dee Wallace.
Yeah.
In the beginning of this, that she was in the first Howling.
Yeah.
Because our next movie also has Dee Wallace. That movie is The Frighteners.
Yeah.
It's one of Peter Jackson's. I really love that movie. So I love all of these, but oh man, is it good. The Frighteners is wonderful. It's not just like camp. Like this is really, really entertaining. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is a really great movie.
I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, we'll give you a hint for one of our later movies. We didn't have enough of September. One of our October movies has Keanu in it.
Oh, you guys can try and guess which one it is?
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to go drink a little bit more.
Maybe a little.
Just a tiny bit.
A teeny bit.
And then maybe just, round a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, until next time.
All right.
Bye, Katrina Porter.
Bye, Honest Rain.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.